Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to try architecture as your major? Neither are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. I don't know how many times I have warned people of architecture.
We've definitely talked about this. We definitely have, because this is such a thing, especially in shows from the 90s where everyone's a fucking architect.
Yeah, why are people so obsessed with being an architect? I gotta tell you, it's a shitty ass job. I mean, okay, it's not I think like most companies actually, because like if you own your own firm, it's a good job. If you are a plebeian, like a little dude, it's a shitty ass job.
Yeah.
So I it is quite kind of funny. And I guess like I don't know if Mr. Brady was the one in the 70s that like popularized architecture.
I think so.
But it is just like a bitch ass job. And I mean, like, I don't know. Good luck, Felicity, with your architecture career, you joker.
Yeah, this is silliness. But yeah,
I gotta tell you, if she said that she was interested in architecture a billion years ago, then her parents would have gone off her back.
Oh, her parents love a white collar job. Like they're all for an architecture job.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're talking season 4, episode 13, Kiss and Tell. I gotta be honest. I feel like when we started this episode and then when we ended this episode, I was like, okay, what plot progression have we made? And the answer is like pretty much none.
Yeah.
There's really not a heck of a lot moving
I'll tell you what we are on. We are on the lazy river. Basically, we are just floating along. Once in a while, there was a little waterfall that gives us a little speed, but we are taking the lazy river home. And I mean, like, I got it. Like, let's just like say, like, are you enjoying Felicity right now?
Not season 4. I think that I like your comparison. I like your metaphor of it's a lazy river. And I would add to that lazy river metaphor and say it is a very short lazy river. So we are doing the same loop multiple times. And it's like, I recognize that landmark. Oh my gosh, wait, I recognize that haven't we had a pregnancy scare storyline before?
Yeah.
Like, we're repeating storylines. At this point, I personally feel like the Felicity writers have like run out of runway. And so they're just like, we're just going to repeat some stuff over again. We're going to really draw out the final season. And I'm not really enjoying it because I don't know, like we see Megan and Sean have the billionth fight they've had over the same bullshit. Like it's the same old story. And I just am ready to be like, at the end and get like wrap up these storylines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think that this is why like typical college shows have people, I'm thinking of course of Greek. The reason why Greek works is because we meet our main characters, and I think this is a lot of college shows. Maybe we meet our main characters or some of our main characters. They are sophomore, juniors. Then we meet, it's like the first day of school, and we bring in the freshmen. So we have like multiple ages so that like while we do have storylines of like what are we going to do in the future, like what's my job going to be, I don't know if I want to be a XY for the rest of my life, or like I got into med school. But then we also have like the younger years still like doing the college bullshit of like getting drunk out late, trying to be the fraternity president. Like, so I think that that's why like most college shows work really well, because we have multiple years represented, so that while we have like our older people, you know, trying to figure out how to be an adult, we have our younger people still doing typical college shit. But this is not a typical college show, and I don't know if it ever wanted to be a typical college show. And which is whatever. I mean, like, will I watch every week? Of course I have to. I podcast about it, so like, I guess I will. But like, am I currently enjoying it? No, like I feel like I'm in like a case of deja vu because I even if there's things that don't repeat, I think that it's so tropey that I'm like convincing myself that we've already seen it. And we'll touch on
Yeah.
that a little bit later when we talk about Ben's stuff. But
Mhm.
no, I don't know if I'm loving it either. I think that this is absolutely the weakest season, even because like I have been getting on season 1 since the beginning of our coverage of like season 1. I don't like it. I didn't like Felicity, blah, blah, blah. But at least season 1 wasn't boring because we were always twisting and turning. Like there was always like something
Mhm.
going or happening that was shocking to me. Even if Felicity was unbearable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like a little bit I'm like a little struggling. Like I don't think I watched like the Felicity episode. We typically do like a week between. I don't think I watched it until, and neither did you, until
I
like,
watched it like the day we were recording or the
yeah,
day before we were recording, which usually like to compare it to like Buffy, which we're also covering
or
weekly.
yeah, compared to Buffy or Felicity a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. We would both watch it like the day after we recorded. Like we were like excited to consume the next episode.
Or literally, like there was times where I would end this podcast and like hit play on a
Mhm.
Felicity episode because I was like, I need to see what happened. Like, what kind of fucking mess are these idiots getting into? So it's a
Yeah.
shame, and I think it's definitely the writers. I don't put any blame on any of the actors. It's
No.
like a writing issue. Like I don't think that. I think that the actors are doing what they can with the material they are receiving.
Yep.
But it's just like feeling a little bit stale. So whatever.
Yeah, it is
Where
what it is.
yeah, where do you want to start? Because like there's just like a lot of like very vanilla shit. But
Yeah.
like there was some spice here and there, but where do you want to start?
I want to get the Sean and Megan stuff out of the
Oh
way
God, never mind. I
because
don't want to.
it is, I cannot express how tired I am of like the same argument over and over and over with this couple. And honestly, Sarah, I was at the point this episode where I literally thought, I thought the show might do something to surprise me for once. Like, I thought maybe this is a show that is going to have Sean and Megan, who very much got together on a whim, got married on a whim. Maybe they'll have them divorce on a whim. Like,
Yeah.
I was expecting, like, okay, Sean is meeting this other woman who actually thinks he has good ideas for his inventions. Perfect. Marry her right now. Knock it down, Sean, because literally you're not going to find anyone else who likes this
Right.
shoe cover
Although
idea.
I think that Megan would still be like a typical better fit because I think that like the right partner pushes you. But yes, like go
Yeah.
forward.
And then Megan meets this other guy, right? And so they're both inviting these like people to this big party that they're throwing. And
Mhm.
I thought for a split second, I was like, are we going to get a situation where they both just kind of come together and are like, you know what? This isn't working. Like, this isn't working. Let's
Right.
link up. Let's see other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I would have respected it because if they
Yes.
like came together and been like, I love you, I will have love for you the rest of my life. And
Yes.
like, but if we look at the facts, our lives are diverging. Um,
Yes.
and I feel like we could have gone to a place of like they sort of probably could have still hung out in the house, like they probably could have been civil, but like I think that but yeah, like I kind of would have been into it. Like I would have been like sad, but because divorce is sad. Like finding love and losing love is so sad.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, so but I would be like, yeah, like it kind of makes sense. Like they are so young. I mean maybe not Sean, but Megan is so
I
young.
mean, I
No,
wouldn't
I
even say
know,
that
I'm joking.
yeah. They're both very young. Like
Yeah.
this is very much the sunk cost fallacy of like, well, I've already invested X amount of time and
Yeah.
energy into this person. And that is something that trips it's tripped me
Yeah,
up. I
why
know it's tripped you up. Like
are you
it is.
calling me out on this podcast?
I have been there too. Like a lot of people have. If you're in a relationship for a long enough time, there is just a certain point where you're like, well, I've settled. Like, well, I'm already here. I might as well just stay here.
Yeah,
And
like
that is
I have, especially as a woman, it's just like I have gotten this is something that we're told that we have to like get to look forward to, or like this is like
yes.
the end goal. Like this
What you're
is
supposed to do.
yeah. So then when you get where you perceive is so close and it's kind of like, especially like with marriage, like, oh, like I won, I did it. Like I have to like undo your life. It feels like a failure. So yeah, totally. I think that, but I don't know, like that's not really what the show is trying to tell us. The show is trying to tell us that these two are meant for each other. But then show us progression, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So that's my problem because I feel like we either have to break them up, which
Mhm.
would be very progressive and like unusual for a show to do, especially a show in its final season where I assume they're listening to fan input and the fans would like riot if Sean and Megan break up, whatever. Like, I would have wished they did that. But if they're not going to do that, then you have to like have either one of these two like trying to fix the problem. We get like the moment at the end where Sean is like, "Can you please like one of my inventions?" And it's like, come on. Like,
I
really?
know.
Like
Well,
and Megan's like, "Well,
yeah.
tell me more about these like shoe covers." It's like, this is a shitty idea.
Well, okay. I think like him putting himself out there and being like, please, like I just need a bone. Like I need you to throw me a bone. Like I think that if Megan was just like, okay, I hear you. And but then she has already shit on the shoe covers idea. And then she goes back and like pretends that she likes them, which I feel like that is like disingenuous. So, I mean, she was like, it was kind of cute. She was like, you know what? Like when we went out tonight, like my feet really did hurt. I wish I had
Mhm.
comfy shoes. And he was like, I have just the thing for that. And I will say that this is a real product. So this has been shoe covers are a thing. So it's not a terrible idea. It's not like I would buy this. I would just buy another fucking shoe.
Yeah,
But
it's just like it's not like it's revolutionized the shoe industry in any particular way.
no.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. Maybe this is where I stand on it. In my opinion, there's a difference between being supportive and actually liking that idea, right? Like you can
Yeah.
be supportive and still be like, I really don't think that's a great idea, but I will be supportive of you and not completely shit on your idea every chance I get. This relationship isn't working. Like it is not working. I get uncomfortable, Sarah. Like I truly, the number of fights they
Mhm.
have just makes me feel bad for both of them.
It does. And then I don't know if I mean, we've talked about this before as well, but like if you've ever had a friend that is in one of these relationships where they're always arguing, always fighting, and then like they
Mhm.
love to do it, they're okay to do it in front of other people. It is really, really, really uncomfortable. And you're just
It is.
like, why do you tolerate this? I think that both of our households are very like we don't like we don't fight, like, right? Like
No.
there's nothing, and like not everybody is like that, but it's
Some
such
people enjoy it, right? Like some
uh
people get off on that. Like they
yeah,
love
but
to be combative with their
I
partner.
can't imagine that's like a healthy life. Like and maybe it's me being like unconfrontational. Like I really don't like fighting. I like never raise my voice at my husband. And when I like go up an octave, he like cowers and I'm like, I feel so bad. Like I see his little face be like sad, and then I'm like, oh no, no, no. Like I'm really, really sorry. I just like can't imagine like living a life like this and having it be okay and comfortable because your home is your safe space, you know? And
Yeah.
this is coming from like, of course, like I have a lot of trauma because like my mom always yelled, like, you know, so like whenever she was like upset, she would yell, stressed, yelled, annoyed, yelled, like even happy, she would yell. And I'm very, very sensitive to like raised voices. So I couldn't live this way. You fighting
Yeah.
with your husband quite often? He's in the room. Do you want to fight with him now? And
No, I really
I
don't
can be
want
the
to.
friend that like watches and be like, "Ooh." And then you'll come back and I'd be like, Jess, like that's not really healthy. And be like, Sarah, you were the one that told me to fight.
Yeah. I just like it just makes me so uncomfortable. And I am a person who I'm a loud person by nature. Like I'm not afraid to like voice my opinion. It's just in my opinion, if this is the amount of bickering that is happening in your relationship and even prior to them being married, like the amount of times they broke up,
Mhm.
it just does not feel stable. And I'm a person who like I like comfortability. I like
Yeah.
stability, I like being reassured that what I am in is like concrete, and
Mhm.
their relationship just does not feel that way. It is just like I'm just over it. And I
Mhm.
really was like, I don't know why I thought this. I was like, maybe the show will do something different. Like maybe
Well,
we'll get them breaking up, like, and it'll be like amenable. Like it'll be like, hey, we both just mutually decide this is over.
and
Didn't happen.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the initial plan was the season was 17 episodes because I'm kind of looking at it in
Right.
in that lens as well. We do have 22, 23, but like that wasn't the original plan. So I think that that kind of would have been appropriate if we were closing out this relationship. And then I don't know, maybe that's part of the original uproar and why they decided to do 5 additional or X amount of additional.
Yeah.
You forward 10 years, they're in a totally different place that are much more mature and ready for this commitment. They find each other again and it works this time. Like that would be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I just at the current point we're at with them, I am just so over it.
Yeah. Yeah, me
But
too. I am
so
too.
that's Sean and Megan. Where do you want to go next? We obviously have Ben and all his baby drama with
I
his dad.
baby mama drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Like I feel very uncomfortable with this as well. Because Ben has like made this decision that he doesn't want to be in the child's life. I mean, I think that like it's like twofold. I feel like every human should have a decision if they're ready to be a parent or not. But also, I feel like you have to take responsibilities for your lack of action of protection. And
Yeah, if you're
sometimes you
old
have
enough
to,
to have sex,
yeah,
it could
you have
happen.
yeah, and I think that like you need to take that responsibility. Like actions have consequences. So
Yep.
um like I sympathize with Ben that's like, his life is just starting really. He's like trying to get into a career and it took a turn, but then also,
Mhm.
especially a man that has experience with accidental pregnancy before, like you would think that he would make right just like decisions, cover that shit up.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Or
Yeah.
check in to make sure. I mean, like, of course birth control is not always effective, but whatever, we didn't see that he was trying to prevent it.
Yeah.
So he's made this decision, and of course, like, I don't know why he wouldn't think that this would come up, because so Ben's dad is Lauren's sponsor, is that correct?
Right. That's how they met. That's how they
Mhm.
like developed a relationship. And then
And they're
from that
still
relationship, it seems like she treats him as a bit of like a father figure.
yeah, yeah, and we know they're still in contact, so I'm so surprised that Ben is, like, gooped and gagged to realize that Lauren has shared that she's
Like,
pregnant,
of course she has. First of all, she's like 4 months pregnant at this
which I
point.
don't think I realized,
Well, because
yeah,
we had winter break. So
yeah,
there's been months since she got
yes,
pregnant. And I don't know, like everybody is different. I don't know when
mhm,
people like start showing, but someone who has like a petite frame like Lauren, I imagine
tiny,
would start
yeah,
showing. And of course she's going to tell him she's pregnant, like obviously. So yeah, Ben shouldn't be surprised by this. And then of course his dad is going to have opinions on the matter, right? He's like, oh, she won't tell me who it is, but what kind of low life, like, doesn't want to be involved in his kid's life, and on and on and on.
Well, which I mean, like, and Ben says as much, like, it's pretty ironic that his dad is the one that's like shit talking about a father not being in your life when
Yep.
he spent so many years not being an active father to Ben,
Yep.
which would piss me off, but I don't know. He's getting some like perspective. He gets to sit on his high horse about this.
Yeah. I do think that there are, obviously the show is going to play it a certain way because Ben is the father, but like there are circumstances in which as a pregnant woman, you wouldn't want that father involved. You know what I mean? I'm thinking addiction issues. I'm thinking abuse. Like there's a lot of situations in which it would be safer for the mom and the baby to not have those conversations or to not want the dad involved or to not want to disclose who the dad is. But yeah, Ben, of course, is like going to feel a certain amount of guilt about this, as he should. And he doesn't want to tell his dad. Eventually he's kind of forced to, because his dad is like, oh, I bought this and this and that, and like, I'm gonna help her with the baby and blah blah blah, and it's like his own freaking grandkid and he doesn't even know it. So Ben finally admits to his dad, like, I'm the father, I just, I have a life right now, like I want to be a doctor, like I don't have time for this. And I think obviously that's going to change Ben's dad's opinion a little bit, because he's like, well, shit, like you are on a good path right now. Like this would really disrupt that. What I hated though from his father was the guilt trip and like the emotional blackmail of like calling him when he's like, I'm outside of a bar, I'm about to drink, and it's your fault. Like because of a decision you made. And I appreciated Ben being like, I am not your sponsor. Like, this is not my job. Like, I don't understand why Ben's dad thinks that this is the route to go to get Ben to want to be involved in his kid's life. Like, to prove how shitty of a dad he is. And when has like an ultimatum or a blackmail ever had a good result? I
don't know. Obviously, this man is Ben's dad. Mr. Covington is off his fucking rocker, because this was actually insane behavior. And I just like I don't know. Like we already were predispositioned not to like this guy from everything that we've heard. Then we were forced to like him because he was dying of liver disease. And he like is trying to be in Ben's life, and now he does this. It's like, I don't want, and the stuff with Felicity, how he tried to kiss Felicity, and like he cheated on his wife. Like, I hate this man, and like I don't fucking care if it's John Ritter. I want this man off my screen. I don't want to see this fucking Three's Company fuck ever again. Like, I don't. Like, I really
don't. I'm with you. Like, I'm sick and tired of this, and especially because we know Ben's mom, who's been through it, right? Like absolutely been through the ringer with this man, is now with him again. And like in the beginning of the episode, he's like all happy about it. Oh, I don't have to go back to work for a month. Like we're just gonna hang out and like have a good time. And then he's like almost off the wagon again because of this news with his son. It's like, stop. Like he needs to just take a second and go to an AA meeting or like call a sponsor. Like this is not your son's problem. Like the baby thing, sure, but it's not your responsibility to be like, Ben, you need to be a father. Like that's something that he needs to come to on his own. You know, like you can't force him to do that.
Well, I think that when men feel forced and they're half in and half out of a child's life is when these like unfair dynamics of like unavailable parents are come in, when they don't really want the kid but they're forced to. It was pretty unbearable, really. Like I really like did not enjoy this. I also think that if Ben's father wants to be involved in the kid's life, like that's also his choice. And then ultimately Ben does come around and decide that he wants to be there. I'm curious to what extent will he be in the life of the kid? And I guess like my question is like, where are we going with this? Like, is the pregnancy going to become full term? Is there actually going to be a baby in here? Is something like horrible and sad going to happen? Like, I wonder like how much we're going to play out this story.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, yeah, I'm like very curious about the whole thing. Like, how is it going to affect um Felicity and Ben's relationship, which is already probably not the healthiest relationship out there. None of the relationships are, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like, like and I wouldn't even blame Felicity. Like Felicity is like 21, 22 years old, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
being a stepmom at 22 is like fucking rough and a half.
Yeah, she didn't sign up for this, truly. Like
No,
she's
no.
in the middle of trying to figure out what the hell she's going to do when she graduates college. Like
Mhm,
this is not something she needs to choose for herself. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where we go from here in terms of Ben's involvement. Mostly because it's like, okay, we know Lauren is staying in New York for a couple of months, right? Like she had said she got like an apartment or whatever for at least a few months. I don't know if she's going to extend that. I mean, Ben's going to graduate, but then he's trying to get into med school. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. All of this is up in the air. I do imagine this is going to be the kind of thing that is going to break up the Felicity Ben relationship.
yeah.
Beyond, because let's be real. Felicity also definitely has feelings for Noel, which she has
Mhm.
not been addressing. That probably should be the reason they break up, but I don't think will be the reason
Well,
they
it's
break
like,
up.
how can we make Felicity, the namesake of the show, not look like the bad guy here? Oh, yes,
Exactly.
I know. We'll make Ben at fault. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to ultimately lead to them breaking up. And I think that's a good thing. Like, truly, like, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything worse than being like, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. Like, I'm very stressed out because art makes no money and I want to do something solid, but my heart is in art, and then having a boyfriend and him being like, BT dubs, I'm going to have a baby. And you're like, I'm just trying to figure out my life.
I'm
Like,
just
what do
trying
you
to
mean?
live. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to live. I can't be a mom, a
Yeah,
stepmom.
seriously. Like
It's too
I think this is
much.
going to be the cause of them breaking up, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting that this entire episode for Felicity is spent trying to like get her mind off of the Ben stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
she is like preoccupied with
Well,
it,
yeah.
and so she's like, I need to do something else, and naturally she leans on Noel yet again, as always, for this.
That's sick. That's sick behavior. Quite honestly, how can you not have this totally encompass your entire brain? Like, I would not be able to think about anything else. So yeah, and she really, really, and Ben, and excuse me, and Noel asked her to please stop leaning on me for all of your like emotional bullshit baggage.
Yep.
Like I
Yep.
like he's asked her multiple times, but
But I also feel like he's such a fucking simp for her in
oh
that,
yeah,
like, even though he has set them those boundaries and she truly has not respected them pretty much ever, there's also a situation where it's like he doesn't push back. Like he's like, "Oh, you don't know what you want to do with your life? Well, let's go through this book of majors and talk through it."
yeah.
Oh, BT dubs. I also have like a best friend that came out of nowhere that needs help on a project randomly.
It's truly if you give a mouse a cookie. Like that book
Yep.
literally is like it
Teaches
is
life lessons.
Yeah, basically scripture. Like, if you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to ask for another cookie. So you have to stop giving the mice the cookies.
Yeah,
What
people
mice?
are greedy bitches. That's the answer.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know. That's the moral of the story. Is that fucking Felicity can't stay off Noel's dick. Like she
Yeah.
truly can't. She's like, "Oh, I can't sleep." Meanwhile, I thought this was the funniest thing cuz like when you think about the meta of it, like Felicity is lying awake at night, being like, what is Ben going to do? Like, he doesn't, how am I dating a person who won't take responsibility for a child that he is siring? Meanwhile, fucking Ben is next to her, like just like full sleeping, dead to the world, not a care in the world while he's sleeping.
He's very, very sleepy. He's so busy with all of his
So busy.
bullshit. Yeah.
I thought it was so funny. So she gets up in the middle of the night and like fucking Noel is up at like 3 a.m. making a sandwich. What is he doing?
I don't know. I really don't understand. What kind of sandwich was it? Do you remember?
I think it was turkey.
Turkey's pretty good.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But he can't even fucking help himself that he's just like he's just like, oh, let me help you, Felicity. Like always let me help you. And like you said, like architecture wouldn't have necessarily been a bad choice if this was at the beginning of like Felicity's college career. And there is crossover between drawing and architecture, right? Like it involves a lot of drawing.
And she does have like a technical, more logical brain as well, stemming from like, I don't know, doctor parents, whatever.
Right. But I just don't see how this isn't like you're marrying the science and the art, in my opinion, because it is so technical. I don't know that it is going to feed her soul in the way that normal art would.
And I'll tell you why, because like, especially once again, like when you're in the beginning of your design career, you are basically bitch boy. Like you are doing like the technical drawings. Like I think like what she's hoping is very much like, I will get to make concept images. And there are actually roles in big architecture firms where there's like one person that does get to do like the drawing. Like maybe she'll go that avenue. Like maybe it's not. But if she's like really like, I want to be like a full-blown architect, as like it's not as like creative as you would hope. It's like a creative-ish career, but it's far more technical.
Exactly.
And it requires like 5 years or like 4 years of like architecture design classes. Plus, I think like you have to get a major as well. That's more schooling. That's
it's way more schooling. Like this feels similar to me. Like it's there's always a major where people are like, I want to do this. And they like, okay, when people are like, I'm going to just be a nurse. That's it. I'm going to be a nurse. As if it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, I feel like very similarly about architecture. Like, there is nothing simple about being an architect. Like, it requires so much schooling and stuff like that. Like, this isn't something you just jump into. And I'm not saying she shouldn't dabble, right? Like, I think it is like a good thing to dabble in. But I don't see this being a fit.
Well, okay. I do. The thing is like, I do kind of see it as a potential fit. And I don't even blame Felicity. I blame the writers for them not figuring out what she can do that's like earlier on. Like, I think that, I don't know. Like, I think that like if they figured it out like a while ago, like I think like having representation of seeing a person not know what they want to do is important, especially because once again, like you're choosing your major at 18 years old, like you don't even know yourself. How can you know like what you're going to do for the rest of your life? But also, I don't know, like I it would be so dumb if she's just like able to graduate. Well, maybe hold on. Okay, so like if she graduates with a fine arts degree and then applies to get into a master's program in architecture, that could work. It could work. It's just more schooling. She's just not going to be able to jump into an architecture career is what I'm saying. But then again, like I don't understand how Ben's about to graduate when he's spent like 3 years of his schooling life being an undeclared major, and now he's like a medical school, like, or now he's pre-med his final year. Like, how are you able to just graduate? Like, don't you have to take prerequisites that like, you know,
you think
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like Elena's path is probably the only one that does. Like she's done the 4 years, she's gone to medical school, she's going to go, like that makes sense to me. Like she did all the prerequisite. How can Ben take all the classes in 1 year that Elena took 4 years to do? And that's like yeah, like maybe Ben did all of his gen eds, but like there's, like I said, there's prerequisites. You can't take like 101 after you take 102 type of thing. Like there's an order. So it just doesn't
there's a
really.
minimum amount of time that you will need to complete all of those things.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's whatever. And the other thing I really hated about this was, because I didn't mind the like, Felicity's going to try out different majors and see if anything else tickles her fancy. Why did we have to have, again, having the man, what's his name, Adam, I think, having him be like recently out of a breakup, he needs a new partner for this project.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
that's whatever. That's
so
fine.
it was fine, but like
then he tries
time.
to kiss her, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It was so frustrating.
It's that, but then like also like he keeps asking her for relationship advice and not advice on how to make a better house model.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to, when I was in design school, I had to make a house model. I shared it in a group chat.
Yeah. You said it was horrible.
I mean, it's pretty ugly. I attached some pictures, but it like wasn't very good. I like got a decent enough grade. It's a hard fucking thing, how like models, but and at first like she fucked it up, and then they're like, we can do it together. I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but
then he tries to kiss her, and I was like, why did we need this storyline? Like, we truly didn't need this storyline. Like, I was fine with the architecture storyline, but we didn't need the guy trying to kiss her. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, like I'm in a relationship. And then the thing that really irritated the fuck out of me is like, okay, I'm gonna go to Noel, and like I'm gonna lean on Noel like I always do, even though he's fucking asked for boundaries a zillion times and he's not able to maintain those boundaries. And I was kind of happy, even though I really didn't like Zoe. I was happy that he was there with someone to be like, fuck off, Felicity.
Yeah. Why don't you like Zoe? I just feel like she's like a nothing. I don't really care.
That's why. Because he has a type of like, every girl he ever goes after looks like fucking Ruby.
Except Felicity.
Like, except Felicity. And it is so annoying. Like, this is where I feel like the show is like, oh, we've done this storyline. That's okay. We'll just repeat it. Like, we've already dealt with the Zoe stuff. So now Noel's going to go back and work there as like a contractor. And since her dad is away on some sort of a whatever, she's in charge. And Sean and Noel come up with an idea. And she's like, no, fuck you. Like, absolutely not. And I don't know, Sarah. I was kind of on her side for that, because she asked for one thing, right? Like, it was like, bring me this. And instead they were like, but we did all of this other shit that we weren't supposed to do. And it's like, well, that's not what you were fucking hired to do. So maybe don't do that. It's kind of on her side.
Zoe's a queen. Yeah. I was sitting there and I was like, do I like the name Zoe? I kind of forgot about the name Zoe.
I like the name Zoe, but do you like it? Okay. How would you spell Zoe?
It's just like the typical Zoe.
I agree. I don't, there's the version with the dots on the I, which I don't think we need. Yeah. There's also like, the Y at the end.
Like a Zoe Deschanel.
I think she spells it like Zooey, doesn't she? It's Zooey. Yeah, she does. She spells it real fucking weird.
Yeah. That's
no, I'm with you.
Girl.
I think Zoe is the preferred spelling.
Yeah. That's cute. I was like, that's a cute name.
I think so.
I mean, that's the only thing that I gathered from Zoe, honestly.
Because she's boring, because she's literally just Ruby. Like, there's nothing going for her. And I guess now, see, I zoned out anytime she was on my screen, but it seems like she broke up with her boyfriend.
Yes, she did.
And now she wants to date Noel.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
And it's just like, we've fucking been here before. Like, you made out with Noel.
She told us that last week, but maybe she's.
Well, now it seems like maybe they're actually dating, because like, when they're at the party, right? He invites her to the party and he's like, listen, I think you were hard on me because of our history. And she's like, you're right.
No, I was hard on you because you didn't do the fucking work that I asked you to, is what it was. But whatever.
Yeah.
I really couldn't care because she's a nobody. We're like, he's not going to end up with rando Zoe, or maybe he will. Who knows? Maybe the show will surprise me. I'm not quite sure. I don't really care. That's how I feel.
Well, we all know, all of us know Zoe is yet another placeholder for
Yeah.
Felicity. Like
Yeah.
we know that it's just going to end up with him being with Felicity, and it's just like Ruby. It's literally like every other blonde
Oh.
placeholder he's had.
Yeah. So you're telling me that Team Noel's gonna win? You're saying that I'm gonna win?
Oh no, I meant like I we're not gonna get out of this season without Felicity and Noel getting back together at some point.
Mhm.
Like I don't know that they'll end up together, but definitely they're gonna get back together at some point.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
I don't know. I just like
We couldn't care less.
We've been here.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, yeah. I know. Yeah. And then like talking about like things that we feel, I don't know. So like Ben, also, we forgot to mention with the Ben stuff, he needs to get into med school. So he talks to an advisor, and the advisor says you need to do some volunteer work. So then Ben's like, okay, I'm going to be like, do the big brother thing. I'm going to get a little brother. And I thought like this was like kind of interesting, especially how it tied into like the fatherhood aspect and like getting ready to like spend time with a child. So he like meets up with this little boy. They play basketball together because that's what bros do. But
I totally forgot this was even in this episode.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, and I like tried to bring it up with some friends. I swear to God, and maybe it was just something that like I guessed he would do. And it was like a very early prediction, but I remember talking about how because Ben had to do volunteer work after he and Felicity got caught in the pool. Felicity and Ben both, I believe, were volunteering at the clinic that Greg worked at.
Yes, correct.
And Ben could not care less. So he had to find a activity, a volunteer work that fulfilled him more. And I thought that he became like a big brother with like a big brother, little brother.
Did
thing.
he not?
I don't know.
I know like, Pacey did, and maybe that's why.
We know that Pacey did, but I remember like at least predicting that that's what he would do. So like I was watching this and I was like, there was just something in my mind that was like, did we not do this already? Like,
and I think that's the thing. It's like, even if they didn't do it already, I feel like the vibes of them having done it are there. Because I was with you. I thought the same thing. I was like, because I think because I remember at one point saying we thought Ben should work with kids, like with basketball. Was it something with basketball? I don't remember.
Like, I think that you and I both remember that there was something like this that is familiar. And I don't remember what Ben wound up doing after he left the clinic, but I thought it was working with kids.
It's a good question because I do not recall, but
and then I couldn't even figure out what season that was. So that I could try to look back. I think it was season 2. I think it was season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like looking through the end of season 2's episode, just like skipping around. I couldn't figure it out. Like I was like, but I swear there was like something in my mind that I was like, I've seen this before. But you're right. Like it could be Pacey because I definitely remember. And this is the thing. Like I swear to goodness, I could repeat any Dawson's Creek storyline. Like this, but like there is some shit in Felicity that is so unmemorable, and I thought that I really liked this show. I think I did. Like in seasons 2 and 3, I was like, I like this show.
Yeah,
like I had nothing bad to say. But now I'm like sitting here, I'm like, oh, like what memorable thing did Ben do to do a grand gesture? Like I was like trying to remember, even though I remember saying I think Ben's grand gestures are better than Pacey's, but I can't name fucking one except the time machine that's in your bag. I mean,
the time machine.
Yeah. That's the only thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It still looks like a sewer cover, but I don't want to be mean to you.
No, it's not. It is what it is. Like that was the best one I could find. But it kind of works because Ben is trash right now, so it works. It's like Ben is sewer trash. It works.
That works.
Yeah.
I guess.
It does work on multiple levels. No, I'm with you. I think I could not be more with you in that there are certain things, and I guess one could argue, because I've seen Dawson's Creek more than once, that like I would
But I
remember
have
stuff from that
not.
more, but you haven't. And I've watched it for the first time so long ago. We know how my brain is. Yeah, that like I find that the storylines on Dawson's Creek stick in my head more than the ones on Felicity. But my biggest gripe isn't even that. It's mostly just that I feel like we've run out of storylines to do. So like anything we do feels like we've done it before, even if we haven't. And this like little brother thing was like, maybe didn't Felicity take someone under her wing once? I don't think it was a kid though. She was like in high school about to like graduate and come to the college. So she wanted to be like, she stayed with Felicity at one point. It doesn't matter. Maybe that was Joey. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought it happened with Felicity too. It's fine.
No.
Anyway, maybe it's just we cover too many college shows. Yeah, and also like Ben was a dick. Like he stood this kid up. Like, you're a dick.
Wait, I thought they played basketball together.
And when he first saw him, he stood him up. And then at the very end of the episode, he was like, oops, made a mistake.
Nasty ass. That poor kid. He was like, I don't trust you. You're a white boy. Why are you hanging out with me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember, I swear to God, I had a conversation with you not too long ago. I said, Jessica, I'm really struggling with Buffy. I have so much more fun talking to you about Felicity.
Yeah.
I have so much more fun. This was, I don't know, a couple months ago, probably at the end of season 3. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with Buffy. I was like, it's not fun. Now I'm looking forward to talking about Buffy, and that they have fucking vampires. There's less, and they're not stupid teenagers. They are, but like they're not. It's ridiculous. So I'm sitting here saying that Felicity is pissing me the fuck off, the person and the show. And I don't know how we got here, because this was all fun and games until not so long ago.
Well, they've just run out of time. Like they just run out of stories to do, right? Like
they
it's
need
just
to wrap it up in 17.
Exactly.
And this is why, okay, we complain all the time. Why are shows only doing 10 episodes? It's a bunch of bullshit. Like,
because we don't need the fluff, because there's fluff. There's always fluff.
I know. And
sometimes it's fun fluff. Sometimes it's fun fluff.
I wish that there was a happy medium, because I do think that 10 episodes are too small, but nobody's doing a 22 episode run anymore. So I'm just like, where's the happy medium? Like, and when did we stop? Like, do even sitcoms have 22 episodes a season anymore?
Shows like Abbott Elementary do.
Okay.
But I would say they're like the rare case.
Okay, so 22-minute sitcoms, or is Abbott? Okay, so they get it.
20 minutes.
Okay, so they get it. But bigger shows like 40-minute dramas.
And even a lot of what I would classify as a sitcom, like even like a show like It's Always Sunny, would be like, I think they are closer to doing more like 10 to 15. Like they're even backing away. And that is a more like that show's been on forever. Like, it's rare that a show does 20 something episodes, for good reason, because there's just not that amount of story to write, you know?
Yeah. I even think too, like, but people used to do it. Like, I don't think that there was ever a time with like Friends where I'm like, there's like a bunch of bullshit fluff. Like, I remember even more recently, Superstore. The last season of Superstore, I don't know if it had 22 episodes.
Was that the COVID season?
It was the COVID season.
Okay.
But like even they, I feel like, did a longer season episode well. I mean, like the whole show is fluff, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But all of this to say is that like I think that this is proof why we do need shorter seasons, because if we had the final season was 15, 17, we would have wrapped up shit. And then we wouldn't have had to repeat storylines. So I don't know. I don't love complaining. I do actually. Complaining is kind of one of my favorite hobbies. But also I just like, especially because I have said so many times, Felicity is a smarter show. Like it's a better show. It's better than your typical teen drama. But I even came to you. No, I did come to you before, but like I even like was like thinking like, is there a way we do 2 episodes a week until we get to the time the 17 and see like what happens with like episode 18, and if it's like interesting then, and slow back down just to like speed this shit up a little bit. I mean, I think that DBK would like jump off the bridge and like,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I don't know. It's not as good as it was, I think is the answer.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to give a point to a character before we jump into our feedback? That's the thing.
To who?
Who? Not Ben. Not Ben's dad. Those are for certain. I don't think Noel is bad at boundaries. Like yet again this episode, so he doesn't get one. Felicity is also bad at boundaries, so she should not get one.
Was Mommy in this episode?
No Mommy, no Javier. Sean and Megan are both unbearable. Like literally no one deserves a point this episode.
Yeah. This might be our least favorite Felicity episode. So we punish.
No points.
No points.
No
you're
points
all
for anyone.
punished.
You're all on
You're
notice.
in the doghouse.
Yeah, you're all on notice. Get your shit together.
We're gonna stop covering this show if you don't behave.
You can't get your
I'll
shit
turn
together.
this shit back around.
I'll turn this podcast around. All right, let's hear what DBK has to say about this episode. Maybe he liked it more. Who knows?
What up, though, ladies? Kiss and tell. Not much really going on this episode. Big Ben episode. Him being moody and like, oh, what am I gonna do? I knocked this lady up, and now I gotta take responsibility. Or do I have to take responsibility? Who knows? You know, I'm staying out of this debate because I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Felicity's doing a little architecture thing. Sean and Megan are fighting. Elena's in the scene for like a second. I did appreciate Trevor's line of, hey, I got a B, and then the guy being like, you know, A is better than B, right?
That was funny.
Funny stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, we're coming to the end. I mean, I know technically there's like, 22 episodes this season. But, I mean, technically the season ends at episode 17. So we're like, what is it? Like four episodes? Five episodes from the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know, Jess, I was going to ask like later on, but I'll ask now. How many episodes has Felicity won in 4 seasons? I got to know. Is it over 10? Has she won over 10 episodes in 4 seasons?
How many points has she had?
On a show that's named after and she can't even win 10 episodes? Come on, Felicity. Anyways, you know, you don't have to tell me now. You can like get back to me on that
She's
one.
won 7.
But yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Anyways, till next week, ladies. Peace.
She won 1 point in season 1, 5 in season 2, 1 in season 3, and not a single point yet in season 4.
Yeah, season that tracks. Like season 2, she was really great.
She
Like,
was popping off.
Really phenomenal. Between I think that she was very involved with like the women's rights thing. Like I liked a lot of what she was doing.
Yeah. Yep.
In season 2.
Yep. All right. Yeah. DBK. See, even DBK seems bored by this episode.
Yeah.
So we're not alone. Let's see what Temmie has to say.
Hi, ladies. I disagree with your sentiments on Nick Cannon from the previous podcast. From the People article I read, he is a good dad. Quoted from the moms. I know you were kidding, but I don't think those jokes apply to Nick. For me, he and the moms are talented. Some of them are models, and of course, one of them is Mariah Carey. For me, he is living La Dolce Vita. So I have 4 questions. Have you directly intervened to help mediate a breakup or help solve a relationship problem for someone else?
I'm pausing down so we can answer these one by one because I will not remember them by the time we get to the end. Have you ever directly intervened to help in a relationship, Sarah?
I don't think so. I don't
either. I feel like it's a bad idea to do it.
Yeah, maybe
in
college, like I tried, but then I think I probably learned very quickly that that is not the move.
Yeah, don't do it.
Have you had to take sides after a breakup where you were friends with both people in the relationship?
Temmie, you know I'm not friends with men. So. No. No.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had like friends where I was really close with both of them. I think it's always been like I'm close to one of them.
Knock on wood. If Adam and I divorced, whose side would you be on?
Your side, obviously.
Because you hate him, I know.
I can't win because okay, fine. I'll be on Adam's side then.
No, why?
Because you want me to love him. So there you go.
Bad.
Okay, let's see what else Timmy has asked.
Sarah, what kind of resources does Sean need to scale up his ideas like Schmegan shirts or the shoe cover idea?
What kind of resource? I mean,
he needs a PR person.
He needs a person to bounce ideas off of that actually is like another inventor.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. I think that like some of his stuff is good, but I think he focuses on the wrong stuff. Like, I think that if he continued his business being a vending machine, like the
Kodak vending machine. Yes.
I think that is $1 million idea. Oh, maybe he needs to go to the Sharks.
He would do well on Shark Tank, I think.
Yeah. He'll be, I don't know. Have you ever watched it? Is there somebody that like always comes back, like some crazy inventor who's like,
that would be funny. Who's been on every episode.
Yeah. like, wait a minute. I'm back with this.
You're from season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like, he could have been, I think that he needs the Sharks, honestly.
I think the problem, so maybe there's a show that is like the store brand version of Shark Tank, because when you go on Shark Tank, you like have to have sales, you have to have all these things, and I don't think he's ever gotten that far along in the process of his inventions, besides maybe the Kodak vending machines. Like, so maybe if he went specifically with the Kodak vending machines, I think otherwise he needs to go to like a Baby Shark version of the show.
Baby Shark. Wow.
He was covering up a basketball shoe when he first presented the idea to Megan. The silver lining of the pandemic was that basketball coaches no longer wear formal suits, which brings us to the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals and Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever. How excited is the state now in the last year about the Pacers and Caitlin Clark?
Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't know anything that Temmie just said.
So Indiana is the basketball state, and I don't think I knew this moving here. But the bitches be loving basketball over here. We have like high schools really have a focus on their basketball programs. There's a lot of like professional basketball people that come from Indiana. It is like a very, very loved sport, and like basically like I moved here and I like never thought about basketball really. I don't really think that people on the East Coast care that much about. I mean, they do.
Like the Knicks fans care.
Yeah, like people love the Knicks, but I don't really think it came up a lot, especially where I'm from. But people love their basketball, and we're having Indiana's having a particularly great basketball year for 2 reasons. Caitlin Clark, who is a WNBA player, is phenomenal. And she's probably the only, you know how like Derek Jeter like made it to the non-sports loving masses? Like people know who Derek Jeter is.
Yeah.
Like Travis Kelce. People know who Travis Kelce is. Like he made it past the like sports lovers. And Caitlin Clark is quite impressive because she is a female basketball player that is kind of becoming mainstream, like a household name. Obviously, you don't know who she is, but ask your husband if he knows who Caitlin Clark is.
He left the room, so I can't currently.
Well, I'm sure he was.
I'll message him. I'm going to ask him right now. Do you know who Caitlin Clark is? I don't know if I'm spelling her name right, but
I guarantee he does. And like she is very mainstream. She's a phenomenal player, and I don't think that she played in Indiana, but in college, but she's now in Indiana. So playing for the Fever is
my husband said, yeah.
I mean, like everybody knows who Caitlin Clark is. So, and then in addition to that, we have the Pacers, and the Pacers is a Indiana basketball team like the Knicks, and they are doing phenomenally. They are in like, I don't know, the equivalent to whatever the World Series is for basketball. The playoffs? No, the national, I don't know what the fuck. I don't pay
Championship?
the championship.
Is that it? The finale.
Yeah. So
my husband continued best woman basketball player right now.
yeah, she's like phenomenal. And she, like I said, she's becoming mainstream. She's even hanging out with Taylor Swift is what I
Wow.
Yeah. She
Big
is
moves.
the it girl.
I've heard, can I just say, if there's any sport, well, here's the thing. The basketball sneakers really rule out basketball for me because they're squeaky. But if there was a sport that I would ever get invested in, it would be the WNBA. And it is simply because I've heard there's so much drama that comes from it.
Yes.
Because a lot of them are lesbians and then they're or gay or whatever. And then they're married to one another, but they're not always on the same team. So sometimes it's wife v. wife against each other on the court. And then there's also like drama about like, oh, but this one is married to this one, but then they cheated on this one on the same team. It's like, it's everything you'd want from like gossipy tea in sports.
Oh, wow. I wasn't even aware of this. I'm going to have to look into this. I just know Caitlin Clark recently got into like a beef session with another basketball player named Angel Reese. And I was like very interested in that. But yeah, like,
so yeah, this is a sport you want to be in.
The Pacers are definitely doing great things. They're really incredible. It was really kind of neat because like the other day, I wasn't watching the game, like Adam was watching on his phone. And I like went to go take Belle out, and the Pacers did something, and not only did I hear Adam like,
oh, you heard the neighbors?
I heard like everybody around the neighborhood do the same, like from the inside of their house. It was really cool. Like the other
time, when you're in like New York City or something, and if it's like a big like Mets or Jets or like Knicks or any of those sports that are localized to that area, I bet the same thing happens.
The only other time I remember anything remotely similar to that happening was in 2008 when Obama won. And I remember I was like on college campus and I heard like people from their dorm rooms all over cheering. And that was like
really exciting.
It was a really, really, really awesome moment, actually. And of course, like there was just like so much like excitement and hope. And like I just remember, when like it was announced that he was officially the president, just like all these cheers from different directions. It wasn't quite on the same scale as the Pacers.
No, I'm sure.
Then I don't know. There would be people like raging. So it's very cool to be in Indiana. I don't know. I still think that most Americans don't think about Indiana because it's like absolutely a nothing state. Not really. I live here, blah, 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 blah. But well, I think we're like kind of getting
on the map now.
Well, we're getting on the map.
Yeah, my husband also said she basically revolutionized women's professional sports. So,
mainstream. It's exactly that. It's like becoming mainstream. I think that like a lot of people don't pay attention to the WNBA, but like I think that she is putting a spotlight on it, and I think that she's also like a good spokesperson. Like people are excited to watch her, which is great.
All right, let's finish Tammy's voicemail because we haven't yet.
Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Oh. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. We also got an email from Jamie, who says, "I've been talking a lot of Ben crap lately, and I stand by it. But this week is Noel's turn. Isn't Noel supposed to be staying away from Felicity? Why is he asking her if she wants a bite of his sandwich? And why is he asking her if she wants to talk about it when he sees she's upset and then helps her pick a career path? He should have taken his sandwich and gone to his room when he saw Felicity. And what is he doing still living at the loft? At this point, is he even trying to find a new place to live? So much for him having firm boundaries. Also, his comment to Felicity in the last scene, who can blame him, in regards to Adam trying to kiss Felicity was so gross. And I guarantee if he wasn't already meeting Zoe there, he would have 100% sat and had lunch with Felicity. I agree with all of that. Other random thoughts. I like architecture as a career path. However, can she realistically do architecture with an art degree? Wouldn't she need to go back and get an architecture degree or maybe a master's in architecture? Yes.
Yeah.
When Ben goes to the bar to pick up his dad after his dad claims to want a drink, Ben informs his dad that he's not his sponsor and that is who he should have called, which I agree with. But if only Ben would have had that same energy with Lauren when she called him for help when she was about to relapse instead of having sex with her, he would not be in this mess. Also, I thought it was fucked up of Ben to just stand up his little brother. Last question. How are you guys feeling about Noel and Zoe? Personally, they bore me.
Yeah. That is
Agreed.
absolutely true. They're boring. Like, she's a nothingness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate her because, like, she does nothing, but then she's nothing. So then she's boring. So.
Exactly. Just blonde with bangs, boring.
Another blonde.
Yep. Another boring blonde with bangs.
Another blonde.
Also, Jamie wanted to let us know there's going to be a mini Felicity reunion coming up. Apparently, Scott Speedman and Carrie Russell are going to be interviewing each other as part of the Variety's Actor on Actor Emmy edition.
Oh, we're gonna
should come out around June 13th, is what Jamie said. So
okay, so
a little while
a
to
few
wait.
days, but we can't watch it. I would.
We
assume.
should. Oh, that's a good question. You know what? Maybe we should wait, and if you all can let us know if we're allowed to watch it, or should we wait until the finale to watch it?
And you said Speedman, right? Not
Scott Speedman.
Not
so it is Ben, not Ben. No.
Okay. Oh, remember the time when we broke up at the season finale of Felicity?
Wasn't that crazy?
I was like, I
don't know. So that will be, maybe we'll be able to watch that after we're done, or you all let us know.
Yeah.
But Sarah, in the meantime, do you want to know what next week's episode is titled?
Yeah.
This is weird. Season 4, episode 14, Raising in Arizona. Who the fuck's going to Arizona?
Isn't Ruby in Arizona?
Is she in Arizona? Wasn't she
Colorado,
I thought. Yeah.
Ruby. I shouldn't.
You're gonna get spoiled on something.
Arizona. Now Ruby moves away. Felicity. Loose Ruby Gordon. I didn't know she had a last name. She's from Colorado.
Okay, so Colorado. So who knows? Maybe Arizona is what Lauren is going to name her and Ben's child.
Yeah. Well, Raising Arizona is a 1987 film.
No, but it's Raising in Arizona.
I know. I think
maybe what's her face? Lauren's going to move to Arizona. Maybe.
Yeah. Fast-paced farce about an unlikely pair who got to extreme lengths to have a child. When an incompetent robber marries a policewoman, they discover they're infertile. In order to appease the wife's longings to have a child, the man steals one of the set of quintuplets, but mayhem ensues when the child's rich father sends a rabbit shooting bounty hunter after the kidnapper. You know what? This is selfish. If you have quintuplets, you could give up one.
Do the nice thing, okay?
Be a pal. Give one up. Give up the ugly one. It's fine. Joking. Don't kidnap. Don't do it. It stars Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter. So
wow,
that's something. And also my crush John Goodman is in it too.
Incredible. We're not going to be watching that movie, but we will be talking about Raising in Arizona next week.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I do have an update on my sandal saga in that I ordered Chacos, so they should be getting here in a couple days.
Okay.
Are they purple? There's purple. Yeah. I think that the soles are like a gray and the straps are purple.
Surprise, surprise, surprise,
surprise.
I have a question.
Yes.
You know what a labubu is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I don't understand it. They look a little bit too much like Furbies to me to understand why people are obsessed with them.
Like Furbies, yeah. All right. I had to explain what I did not have to. I forced upon an explanation to Adam what a labubu is and what a lafufu is. And
what is a lafufu?
It's a fake labubu.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes people think that they're getting labubus and then they open up the package and they're lafufus. Wow. It's very sad.
Do you have a labubu?
No, I don't want.
How much is a labubu?
I don't know. I just know
it's like $25. I might throw up.
No, it's more than that.
What?
Yeah.
Stop. Okay, I'm looking it up right now. How do you spell labubu?
Labubu?
Oh, it's like the pop people make them.
It's very hard to find yourself a authentic Labubu.
Is it by the same people that make the pop things?
I think so.
Because I found that on their website. Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. What these I mean, it's all over the map, but like they don't all cost the same amount.
Yeah.
Some of these are like insane.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. How much is a Labubu?
An authentic Labubu.
It can range.
Yeah.
They originally retailed for around $30, but now I can't for the life of me understand these. I don't get it. It's just a little stuffed animal. Like it's a
keychain. It's a keychain, really. Well, it's a bag charm. It's a bag charm.
Whatever.
And how much is a authentic Labubu?
Okay, so I'm on Amazon seeing how much.
No, that's definitely Lafufu territory.
Okay, hold on. Let me go on there. The problem is, let me see if I can find out how much it is for like one of the blind boxes, because that's more probably true to the average.
Yeah, we need a blind box.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so these ones, there's like a Wacky Mart series that are only $19, but they do look smaller.
Yeah.
There's like one that's $40.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're more than $30 is like what the.
Here we go. Exciting macaron vinyl face blind box.
Yeah, how much?
It's a keychain. This one's a keychain.
They're all keychains. They're bag charms.
$22.
Oh, that's not bad. But the thing is that like there's like Labubu drops. So you have to like be on the website. You have to like find that they dropped the Labubu, and then you order the Labubu and you have to pick them up in store. You can't go to a Pop Mart store in the mall and buy one. You have to order online and pick it up. It's like a whole thing.
Wow. Here's the thing.
Yeah. They're ugly.
I think people should spend money however they want to. It's their money. They could do whatever they want. But like donate to charity rather than buying these hideous things. It's gonna be like a Furby. Like you're gonna hate it in like 2 years. Like stop.
Yeah, people often buy purses, designer purses, to match their Labubu color. So
that feels like putting perfume on a turd. Like I don't understand why you would be like, I'm gonna get a fancy ass bag and then a tiny weird monster to put on it.
Well, they're like designer. Blame Rihanna.
I'm blaming everyone involved at this point because they're
Fair
fucking
enough.
hideous.
All
Anyway, any other updates you would like to give the people?
No.
Okay, let's get out of here. We'll be back next week with another episode of Felicity that's hopefully better than this week's episode. Until then, everyone, have a good one. Goodbye.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.